Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my spoiler-free review for The Nun 2, the ninth film in the Conjuring franchise. Wow, 9 films, that seems crazy to me, and you might be thinking, yeah, 9 seems like a lot. I disagree. 9 doesn't sound like enough. I swear there's like 15 of these films in this Conjuring universe with our Annabelles and our Nuns and our Conjurings. It just feels like they are constantly pumping these films out. And for me, I kind of feel like outside of the original 2 Conjuring films, which just have really dynamic, interesting camera work, really great heart and emotion from our 2 main leads that are just spectacular and kind of elevate the stories, I feel like the jump scary nature of those first 2 films has been the thing that has translated to all the other spin-offs in this universe. I don't think I liked any of the Annabelle films I've seen, which I thought was like 10, but it might only be 2 or 3. I really didn't like The Nun 1. So my point is, I am not the biggest fan of the Conjuring universe. This type of horror isn't really my go-to horror, although I don't hate this universe and I don't hate this franchise. And the Nun character, visually, with the nun thing going on, but a demon, it's pretty cool. And that scene in The Conjuring 2 where she's like, I'm a painting, and then she's like, but I'm also here or whatever, and she goes, rah! It's pretty good. It's a pretty effective scene. So I was curious because it's like, this could be great. You never know. But I also had a feeling like this Nun film, the sequel to The Nun 1, which I found to just be awful and just so boring. I felt like I forgot it as I was watching it. So I really thought I was going to come into this review and just smash this film, and I was going to have like a pretty unpleasant time. So my expectations were pretty low. And so, shockingly, surprisingly, I think I love this film? Let me backtrack. Love, too strong a word. Way too strong a word. I don't even know if I think this film is a good film. I thought it was shockingly entertaining and exciting and fun. Not like scary at all. I'll get to that. Not scary at all. Very fun and entertaining and insane. The third act of this film does some crazy things. There's a goat sequence. I truly cannot believe that they put that in a movie. It is bonkers. But love the film? No, love is too strong a word. I have How I Met Your Mother this, and I've said love on the first date. It's too strong. That's not what I meant. I just meant I liked it a lot for what it is, for the situation that I was in. I walked into the theater being like, well, I mean, you know, I'll give it a chance. I'm not going in to hate it, because I always want to love something. I don't want to just sit there for 2 hours hating it, but I'm expecting to like just really not be for me and just not have a good time, and there to be effective jump scares, but I'm in a cinema, so they're more effective than when you're at home and you could get your phone out. Like, I don't want to say I was on my phone the entire time of The Nun 1, because I watched it at home very recently, in hype for this film, more just to understand what was going on, which, funnily enough, super unnecessary. I feel like the characters in this film, they like the first 10 minutes, they're like, you remember these characters? You know how we forgot to make them good characters? Well, here you go. And there's a lot of emotion and character work done very early on in this film, with new characters coming on board and just kind of really positioning our 2 lead characters in a way. And then when the third act kicks in and you need to understand what happened in the first film, they literally just show scenes from the first film. And it explains everything. It's like a 2.5 minutes over the whole film of just snapshots of that whole film, because they presume that a lot of the audience probably just didn't watch that film. Or they did watch it and, like me, forgot it as they were watching it. Is this film scary? Absolutely not. Not scary at all. But it is very interesting, it's very entertaining, and it's very fun and insane and crazy with its scary sequences. A lot of them, particularly in the third act, kind of come across as almost like action set pieces with like a horror twist, like a little bit of a horror kind of glaze of maple syrup on the ham that is the action set pieces. And they're not really horror moments at all, but they were fun, they were interesting, they were kind of crazy and ridiculous. I just feel like this film is like, hey, this is like the 27th film in this franchise. The Nun has been done to death. We've done all the spooks and the scares and the things. Let's just have fun. Let's just go crazy. What is the lore? What is her power levels? Like, what can this Demon Nun do? Everything. Apparently, everything. The lore and mythology of this nun is batshit crazy. It is insane. We go through this whole like arc with the Demon Nun character, and she's like, I've got to get this thing, and she doesn't say that, but like all that characters figure out she's got like a motivation, like a purpose to get a thing, to get a MacGuffin. It's like there are two moments in this film that made me feel like I was watching Indiana Jones meets the Nun. Like, we have a Staff of Ra situation where a thing points to a thing and they get a MacGuffin. I was like, what is going on? This is insane. It's very funny. The Nun's motivation and what she needs to get could be like the MacGuffin plot of an Indiana Jones film, and like Hitler and the Nazis want to get this thing. Like, this film is crazy. It's insane. There is a goat sequence. I will not say more. I will not say more. All I'm saying is, if you want to see a goat in a mirror, like in like a mural painting, like a church mural painting thingy, and it's doing a thing, it's doing the Indiana Jones thing, but then it does another thing, and you're like, oh, okay, they're doing this thing. But then they go, like, you think they're hitting like a 9 already. Like, what are you doing? And then it goes to like 15, and you're like, what? What? Just fun. That's what I feel like this film is. It's fun. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's like, I couldn't believe what I was watching at times. I was like so engaged and impressed on just this insane level, because the film plays its like cards quite slowly at first. Like, I'm just thinking about the film, and I can't help but laugh, because it's like, I know it's not trying to be funny and crazy and insane and just kind of this wild romp with all these horror elements, but I think it's really effective in that. And like, I may be laughing at the film in a way, but I think like all the character work it does, all the slow emotional stuff it does, it also does really, really well. Like, this picks up straight after Nun 1. So if you haven't seen Nun 1, spoilers for the end of that. Spoilers. At the end of Nun 1, Maurice gets infected with the Demon Nun, or whatever. And so in this time, it's in him, but not like at the surface. Like, it's hidden inside him. So he doesn't know he's possessed, so he's just living his life. And he's like got a crush on Lucy from Narnia. And so Lucy from Narnia is now a mum, which it doesn't make me look at myself and go, oh my god, I'm dad age now. Which, to be clear, I'm fine with. That doesn't make me, what's the word? Sad? I'm still young at heart. And so Maurice is working as a trades dude or whatever, I don't know. He's like the guy, fixie man, the handyman. And so Maurice is the handyman at this school, and the school is like a boarding school. We've got all these little girls running about, and some of them are bullies, and we've got one main character who is the daughter of Lucy, and she is kind of this loner who really likes Maurice. He likes her mum, and she realizes that, but it's kind of set back in the olden days, like I don't know, let's go 30s, 60s, something like that. So they're kind of romance plots, like the will they, won't they kind of romances, quite traditional, old school, very slow build. You can tell immediately that Lucy from Narnia and Maurice like each other. And I don't know, all of that throughout the film I thought worked really effectively. And so like there's all that plot. And then we've got the nun from the Nun 1, the titular nun, but not the evil demon nun, played by Thaisa Farmiga, the younger sister of Vera Farmiga. For some reason, the Farmiga family, this awesome duo of incredibly talented actresses, they seem to have just kind of like decided, Conjuring universe, this is ours. And I think Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson in the original Conjuring movies are like the heart of those films. And like there's some amazing direction. Everything James Wan does with the camera, he's weaponized it. It's really interesting and dynamic. The visuals and the ideas are all really, really strong for the most part. But the heart and the emotion that those two actors bring to those characters of the Warrens, spectacular, really, really strong. So for Thaisa to come into this franchise, I feel like in the first one, like I really like her as a performer. She's great in American Horror Story. But she didn't grab me the way I was kind of hoping, and I kind of knew she could. In this one, I think she really does a much, much better job. I don't know. I'm not sure if people will like this, because it's not like scary. And I don't know if people are going to have fun with it the way I had fun with it, with some crazy, insane ideas like the lore and the mythology and like the motivations of the nun are insane. The third act loses its complete mind. It's insane. And I had a lot of fun with that. I have a feeling maybe, especially if you really do like these films and you love the jump scares and the fear and the horror, I don't know if this one is as effective. Maybe it is though. Maybe the jump scares are effective, but this one really didn't get me the way that a lot of horror films in the cinemas get me. And in this film, unlike in the first one where she's teamed up with a priest, the priest is not in this film. In this film, in Nun 1, there was one nun, and in Nun 2, guess how many nuns there are? There's 2. Well, sorry, no, there's 3 nuns. Well, no, there's 2 nuns and 1 demon nun. She doesn't count as a nun though, because she's a demon. And she's... I won't spoil it, but oh, the plot is insane. The mythology they add on to this film is pure insanity. I can't stress enough how much fun I had with how much insanity they kind of brought into this character with what was going on. I just found it so funny. And I think a lot of people are going to find that really annoying, how kind of ridiculous the film gets, but I had a lot of fun with that. And our second nun is played by Storm Reid. She does a pretty good job, although I feel like her introduction, she's like, I don't know, she doesn't have faith, and then throughout the film, maybe she gets her faith back, maybe she doesn't. And her character, like, it wasn't bad, but I don't think it kind of gave us enough with her to really kind of make it work properly. It felt a little bit generic, like she's like having a cigarette at the start. She's like, I'm a nun, but I smoke cigarettes. And I'm like, okay. So, should you go pay $20 to go see The Nun 2 this weekend? I don't know, do you have $20 to spare? It's a pretty funny time. Go see it if you want, and if you don't go see it. You could probably just watch this at home. And if everything I've said makes you go, no, I'm absolutely not going to go see this film, just go see Talk to Me again, because oh my god, Talk to Me, what a movie. An actually good, amazing, spectacular movie. Easily the best horror film of the year. The Nun 2, nothing in comparison. Yeah, oh god, Talk to Me, what a film.